Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
Our top story this afternoon, a man wanted in Fargo is now in custody after a shooting two Wisconsin police officers. On Sunday morning, Fargo police said that Nathaniel Benton was wanted for attempted murder and was armed and dangerous. Benton was on the run until early this morning when he shot two police officers in Wisconsin. He surrendered to police and was arrested just hours later. Both of the injured officers are going to be okay. And we spoke to Benton's alleged victim in Fargo this afternoon. You can see the exclusive interview tonight on Valley News Live at 5 and 6. And here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. North Dakota's COVID-19 numbers continue to skyrocket, reaching another all-time high of over 1,700 new cases today. There are 336 new cases in Grand Forks County and 239 in Cass. North Dakota's COVID-19 death toll has surpassed 600. You can see a more detailed breakdown of the numbers scrolling on your screen right now. And a teenager was arrested following a wild chase in Horace, causing major damage to a business. The Cass County Sheriff's Office was called to a crash at Big Irv's Bar and Grill at around 2 this morning. Authorities say the 15-year-old boy was driving a vehicle reported as stolen and involved in a police chase. He's been arrested on possession charges. And Fargo police are reminding drivers to pay attention to the roadway and stop for red lights. Officers went to a rollover crash just after noon today at 32nd Avenue South and University Drive. They say a vehicle ran a red light and hit another vehicle, flipping it onto its roof. The driver in one of the vehicles was taken to the hospital and is going to be okay. And it's 3 days post-election and we still don't have a winner in the presidential race. Just a handful of states and a few thousand ballots separate either candidate from securing the presidency. We'll have the latest on the remaining votes coming up. And that wraps up today's Top 4 at 4. Now let's get a first look at our weather with meteorologist Summer Schnellbach. Hey, Summer.
Well, I'm not Summer. Nathan Hopper's here for you on this Friday. Here's how things look for our Friday. 4 o'clock temperatures, a very widespread in temperatures from north to south. Looking at temperatures right now, Devil's Lake at 40 degrees at this hour, 45 for our friends in Grand Forks. The warmest air is just off to the south, 77 degrees there in Sisseton. So there's a weak boundary right now, right near Fargo, that's keeping that warmest air off toward the south and keeping that coldest air up into the Devil's Lake Basin, into the Northern Valley as well. 61 right now in Fargo, 63 Detroit Lakes, but yes, much more comfortable air, much more spring-like air, you could say, down off toward the south. Lots of cloud cover making its way through our North Dakota neighborhoods. That now is stretching into our Minnesota neighborhoods at this hour. Winds out of the north in the Northern Valley and out of the south in the Southern Valley. So there's that boundary I was talking about where those winds are the weakest. It's a very weak boundary, but still enough to keep that coldest air moving in from Canada in Devil's Lake Basin, warmest air up from the south. And Callie, coming up here in a couple minutes, we'll talk about this weekend system that's going to bring some big changes for us next week. We'll have all those details in a couple minutes.
All right, thanks, Nathan. It's great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
And a Minnesota man is dead after police say he ran a stop sign in Douglas County and crashed into 2 other vehicles. Officials say it happened last night around 6, about 15 miles west of Alexandria. State troopers say the victim's vehicle hit one pickup and then the second one, but the other 2 drivers were not seriously hurt. The man who died was a 66-year-old man from Kensington, Minnesota. And NDSU's president is asking students to stay in Fargo over Thanksgiving break. In a campus-wide email, Dean Brashani said students are strongly encouraged not to travel home due to the COVID-19 outbreak. He cited the CDC's recommendation to avoid large gatherings as well as traveling. The university will help keep residence halls open throughout the break at no additional cost to students. He said students will need to let resident life staff know if they're staying. And the Bemidji Police Department is asking for your help finding a stolen vehicle. Police say they got a report on Wednesday. It's a black 2014 Ford Focus. The license plate reads 540RDV. If you have any information about the missing car, you're asked to call police. And an elderly North Dakota man was killed by a semi hauling cattle in the Southern Valley. The State Highway Patrol says the 90-year-old driver stopped at a stop sign at Highway 13 and 32 east of Gwinner around 6 last night, but did not yield when turning. The semi-driver braked and swerved left, trying to avoid a crash, but still hit the pickup driver. The semi-driver wasn't hurt, and troopers will release names later today. In Minnesota, health officials are reporting another record day for COVID-19 cases. The grim numbers come as a vaccine trial is entering the final phase at Minnesota's Allina Health. It's one of the 5 vaccine studies to make it so far worldwide. WCCO's Liz Collin walks through the process and explains what it takes to participate.
It is one of the most important and pivotal trials of the century.
Research teams at Allina Health are racing to find solutions to a global pandemic, from hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir trials to the hope of a vaccine moving to its final phase.
We will try to enroll as many participants as we can within this next 2 to 3 month period.
Dr. Vani Nilakantan got the green light last month to move forward on Johnson & Johnson's Ensemble study. Someone in the clinical trial got sick, but it turned out to be from something else, allowing their work to continue.
Study participants will gather first in this socially distanced room and then get an explanation of what will happen next by video.
Everything we can is going to be recorded, so it's going to be very little actual speech in this. We're asking the subjects to not talk at all.
The air exchange has been changed and barriers put up to separate. Participants will then complete a blood draw and nasal swab before being given 1 dose of the vaccine. 8 telehealth visits will follow over the next 2 years. Whether it works or not will not be a simple question to answer.
We need to know, does it work in different populations differently? Does it prevent only severe disease? That would be good. We don't care quite as much about the not so severe disease. It'd be nice if it prevented all disease, but it's the severe disease we care about the most.
Allina's Phillips Eye Institute is one of 215 sites around the world to test this particular vaccine, the only one in the state, and possibly just months away from real promise.
It's amazingly fast to have gotten this far, this fast.
In Minneapolis, Liz Collin, WCCO 4 News.
They hope to recruit 500 participants for the vaccine trial here. 60,000 people will be a part of the same clinical trial around the world. And Valley News Live is teaming up again with the Great Plains Food Bank for another virtual food drive. It'll help families in need around the FM area. Our goal is to reach $40,000, and to find out more, download our free VNL News app and look for the virtual food drive and click to donate. And the presidential election continues to unfold days after Election Day. With just a handful of states left to count, the margin between President Trump and his Democratic rival Joe Biden remains tight. We'll have the latest next on Valley News Live at 4.
In temperatures, we're falling through the 50s into the 40s eventually here in Fargo, so a cooler evening is in store for us. A light north wind around 10 miles per hour for us in Fargo. Then in Grand Forks, expecting those temperatures into the 40s, eventually upper 30s, but we'll break down your weekend forecast next.